And we're mostly going to, we should have a portrait of ourselves, a self-portrait. We should have Photoshop on our computers. And I'm just going to go over the process. I have all the notes here. So if for some reason I forget where I'm at, I will also check my notes. But I want to go over how to change a few things. If you know Photoshop or for some reason like certified in Photoshop, this is going to be really easy. This is just very basic Photoshop, and we're making assets for assignment two. So think of it that way. And we're just going to kind of change colors and do little techniques that you probably, hopefully, don't know. So I'm not like showing you something that like you're like, why are we going over this? But I picked this photo. My notes are like, let's make something funny, and I have this from like various different performances that I do, and we want a black and white photo. This one was naturally black and white because I put it through a Xerox machine like 100 times, and that's why it looks very crunchy. But if you don't know how to make something black and white in Photoshop, all you have to do is go to Image, Adjustment, and you can go to Black and White, or you can go to Desaturate. Um, let's do that with the blue. I want to make a copy of the blue one over here, and I'm just going to go to Image, Adjustment, Desaturate, and it'll make it black and white again. Um, let's go back. I don't need this. So there's like a few different methods I want y'all to do. And I want kind of like everything kind of in groups. And we're just going to change colors. We're just going to kind of like do some collaging, I guess, or like some photo editing. And then we'll take it from there. The first thing I want us to do is make your image black and white. And then I'm going to show you how to posterize, how to threshold, very basic stuff, but let's go over it again. Since it's all in Photoshop, let's just make let's duplicate the layer. So how I did that was right click and then go up the top and duplicate the layer. And let me know if I go too fast, okay? So once I have a copy of my layer, I want to posterize it for like future use. And how do you posterize an image? You go to Image, Adjustment, and Posterize. So most of the things I'm going to show you today is in the Adjustment folder. So if you just remember Image, Adjustment, you should find everything that we need to know. And once you press posterize, we have like a level type of system that we can go back and forth. I'm going to leave it like this. It kind of looks like really bad mural arts way of making things. That's the only way I can describe it. That's what posterize is for. It's like you're going to project that on the wall and like kind of like paint by numbers, take out all the values. It reminds me of the murals in Philadelphia. Most of them are pretty bad, but that is my kind of like opinion. And we can kind of adjust it back and forth. It's really finicky, so let me go back, cancel, image, adjustment, and then posterize. I like the first one. If you don't like it, mine is like a very like my original photograph is very crunchy, and that's why I don't have that much like going on with this one, but that is okay. So we want one posterized image, and then we're gonna right click or double click to change the name, and then just put posterize. And then let's go and yes.
What level of posterize do you do?
It's up to you, the level of posterize that you want. I'm not going to dictate like what level. It just has to have some posterization in it, and it should be noticeable. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool. If you don't like it, then we can adjust it. And if you like certain sections of it, we can kind of pick pieces of two different thresholds and mash them together. I'm going to delete this layer. And I want to go over threshold. So threshold's like extreme black and white. And I'm going to, yes.
Are you duplicating each layer of change that we made?
Not each layer. So like our first base layer is like what you're gonna copy and paste over and over again.
Oh,
So that's your like your base. Because like once you like put different like filters on top, it might just change it too much, and you're like, oh, this looks like crap. But for this assignment, just once you have the original, that's a good thing. I forgot this to put this one as my original, so I don't even know that's spelled right, but that's okay. Uh, Once you have a black and white photo the way you want it adjusted, just name an original, just so you can keep track. And each time you do something different, um, name an original unless you need the change the color of a posterize or a threshold, which we will go in a little bit. Threshold, that's where I'm at. So let's, I'm going to duplicate this image. It's the original copy. And now I go to image, adjustment, and then we're going to go to threshold. And then we're going to have this like extreme black and white image, and we can adjust it however you want. So if you like it mostly washed out, I would leave it here. Or if you like it mostly dark, like kind of like for mine in the sunglasses. But if you kind of want both, this is how we'll do it. So I'm going to adjust it like really blown out like this. Press OK. Then I'm going to make another copy. And then I'm going to threshold this. And maybe I want this darker. All right, so I have two different thresholds. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to change them just yet. My Photoshop's pretty crude. I only do what I only do like, if it's like an easy thing, I'll just make something kind of messed up looking, or I just take the easy way out. So that being said, if I like my figure to be more blown out and I want everything else to be darker, you could just easily go to the eraser tool and just erase one layer to show the other. Yeah, we can just erase this and just like combine the two. So let's just do that real fast. I'm just gonna show this. I'm not gonna. No, but if you wanted two different like threshold, if you want it to have a little bit more like how do I put it? Uniqueness. Let's just use uniqueness. I hate that. But so I want to combine these two layers, but I don't want to like completely just go to layer and flatten the whole image because I'll flatten all of my work I have here. I just want to merge visible. So since I have like the eye icons on like both of these images, and I want to combine just those two, I'm just going to go to layer, and then I'm going to go down to merge visible. I could merge down, but I'd rather do merge visible. So once I do that, the only ones that have the eye icon are the ones that are going to merge. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me know if I'm going too fast. I am drinking an energy drink, so I'm just going to be like all over the place in a second. So once we have a posterize and a threshold, we can kind of like go to the next step, which is using the threshold or the posterize at first to change the color of that, which is pretty easy. So, which I don't want to do the threshold, I want the posterize. So since I have a posterize, I'm going to duplicate layer, and then I am going to go to image, adjustment, and then hue and saturation. And the one thing you need to know about the hue and saturation, if you move this all around, nothing's going to happen because it's a black and white photo. There's one step you really need to do. You need to check colorized. And when I click on colorized, then we can kind of see some color happen, but it looks kind of dull. So I want to bring up the adjustment, and I want the primary colors at first. So let's do like blue for now. I already went over this step. So I have the primaries in a folder already, which have red, yellow, and blue. You might be asking, like, if we have to put these in groups, how do you do that? So I'm going to delete this layer. And let's just put all of our like black and white studies into a group. All these are checked. The eye icon is on, and I want to create new group. And then let's put like B and W, and we can click and drag them into this group, which I forgot to do with my other stuff. And then we have a little icon down here. We can just open and close this folder. It's just easier if you have so much images just to put them in a group. So let me do that with my my primary colors, which I already have. Boom. 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 And we close that for. Wait, what? What is on my head? I am wearing a raincoat and a wig. Don't ask. Why? It's because I'm very. I do a lot of performance pieces, and we will. What?
Nothing.
We're getting off track. Let's put the secondary ones. What are secondary colors, which we haven't gone over yet?
Red, blue, and yellow.
Secondary.
Yeah, red, blue, and yellow. Yeah. Those are the primary colors: green, purple, and orange.
No. Let's put our secondary colors that are green, purple, and orange into our secondary folder, just to kind of clean up house a little bit. All right. So the one thing I want us to do, we're gonna make like kind of like knockoff Warhols as well. If you haven't seen a Andy Warhol painting, they look very similar. And I'm going to show you how to change, like select one color and then change it to any color you want. So how did I make these? I used the threshold first. So just like before, the first thing I want to do, let me put these into the folder so everything is clean. In this folder, I'm going to name primary, secondary, because that's the colors I'm going to use. So let's go to the black and white folder, and I'm going to copy my threshold. I'm just going to duplicate it. And let me undo all of this. There we go. So this is my threshold. And you're going to be like, all right, how do I change all of this one color all at once? You could do it the one way, which is not technically wrong. It just takes a very long time. You could just like go to your paint bucket tool and just like paint bucket the sections, but that takes all day. So let me Control Z, Control Z. This is how we're going to do it. We are going to go to Select. We are going to go to Color Range. And then we have the dropper tool. And I'm going to click on everything that's white first. Boom. And then I'm going to press OK. And everything that's white is selected. And you're like, all right, what do I do next? The next thing you're going to do, you're going to go to Image. Sorry, you're going to go to Edit. Sometimes I forget. You go to Fill. And then you have like this little window that's open. And you're like, all right, I don't see anything. And maybe there's an easier way to do this. This is the way I'm going to show you. And this is the way I know how to do it. You have to go down to Contents, and you have to go down to Color, and you have to click Color every time. And then you have the window open up. We're going to do red and green first. So we're going to click on red, press OK, and then press OK again. Now everything that was white, red. Yes?
Alright, I need to select all the way.
Yes, let me go over that one more time. I'll do it with the black.
Okay.
So we go to Select, and then we go to Color Range. And these are in my notes as well, just in case like you do this later and you're like, I don't feel like going through the whole video. If you can't see everything over here, we can just select on our image, and then we can see everything. And then we press OK. And then everything is selected. And then we go to Edit, Fill, go down to the Contents, and you have to click on Color again. I don't know why you have to do that. It's a little annoying. And then we can just make this green. And then you have to press OK, and then you have to press OK again. Now everything is green. Once you do this a couple times, it's gonna get easier as you go. And then I'm gonna Control D to deselect everything, and then we have an image. And then I want y'all to make a folder, and then name it primary, secondary. And our primary secondaries are going to be red, green, blue, orange, yellow, purple. I believe one time I accidentally forgot and I like switched the colors. I just had like a really weird moment. But those are the secondary ones. Let's check the notes because now I think I'm second guessing myself, which I do a lot. Yes, we should have something very similar to this. And then the next step, I want y'all to have a different version of your primary secondaries made from your posterized images. So I'll do this one more time, and we're gonna like make two different images. We're gonna change the colors. We're gonna posterize it, and it's kind of like you're showing me with like a final one that you know how to combine them all in one image as well. So I'm going to do that right now. So I want to posterize secondary, primary. So I'm going to go to posterize. And I'm going to make a copy. Duplicate layer, and then I'm going to go to image adjustment, hue and saturation. Make sure to click colorize. I want this all red at first. Press OK. Then I'm going to make another posterize. And then I want this to be green, because it's the complementary color, or secondary, sorry. And I want to go to image, adjustment, hue and saturation, colorize, put all of the saturation up. You don't have to put it all the way up, but I just think it looks better, but also I like very bright colors. You can dull it down a little bit. I think this looks better, and you're kind of showing me like, yes, I know what this is. Let's make this green. Press OK. I want the background to be green, and I want the figure to be red. And I guess technically we could go to not so much of this image, but you could go to quick selection and click a little bit at a time. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to use the eraser tool, and I'm just going to erase the red from the one image just so I have a green background. And I'm doing this very crudely, just for the sake of the demo. But this looks fine. I'm cool with that. And then, does anyone remember how to merge two layers together without flatten everything?
You select one, shift, select the other, select the three layers.
Let's see. Right click. We can merge visible. Yes, we can right click. And we can also go to layer and then merge visible. So there's two different ways to do it. For some reason, I always go down to go with the like kind of manual way and do it that way, but we could just right click. So whatever one you prefer, I'm not going to dictate how you get to an end goal. I'm just showing you how I do it. But if you find easier ways, that's completely fine. Because sometimes I like use Photoshop as a boomer. And yeah, so you can find quicker ways. Please do. I'm just used to that for like the years of doing it this way. I always forget that like you can just right click it. So let's merge this down, merge visible, boom. So I would want y'all to have 3 different posterized versions of it as well and put that into a group. I won't do that part of the demo. But since you have the posterized versions, I want you to make one more version that you're using the original. You're using the original. So I want a posterized version. And then I want an original version for another step. Does that make sense? Okay. I will stop recording and I will, if you have any questions, I will answer them. So we are doing the low poly portrait. I am going to attempt with this. Admittedly, y'all shouldn't be so drastically black and white, but that's okay. So I have the background layer of my portrait, which I did for the last part of the assignment, and I have another layer for the next part. And I want to kind of look at these different values. So I can see various different values, and we are going to use the pen tool. And in a different layer, sorry, I got very distracted. In a different layer, I want us to use the pen tool and pick out a spot. So if you're not used to breaking the form down, this might be tricky. But I can, let's say this is one value. That's how I see it. And I have a complete shape. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted. And then I want to right click and I want to fill path. And it's the same kind of UI that we've seen before. We click on color. We click on color again. We have the pen drop tool. We're going to hover onto our piece, click the color, press OK, press OK again. Whoa, Photoshop. It's like magic, but not. And then let's say I want this area because this looks all the same hue. Possibly. Make sure the path is full or filled or
Yeah, yeah.
not all over the place. Right click. Yes, thank you so much. I'm Phil Subpath.
They interchange something.
Yeah, and sometimes it throws me off. It's okay. If you have a different way, find a different method. This is how I'm showing y'all.
I'm trying to remember how we did it. So what we did was we like clicked the thing, and instead of doing it like that, it just takes the average of the colors inside the shape, and it just does that. Instead of having to choose the color.
We're choosing from the original portrait, from what's underneath of it.
No, I know that's what it does. So
Okay.
It takes the colors that you have in your shape. So if you made that triangle, you click the button, and it takes the average hue of all the colors in there, and it just makes it that color, because then it's the exact hue that you want. I don't remember how to do it though.
We'll talk, but we'll see what's up. This is how I'm showing y'all though. If you find a different method, that is completely fine. Right click again, and then fill subpath, color, click on color. You have the pen drop tool. You get in the background of your original image. It picks the hue for you, or color, whatever you want to call it right now. Press OK, press OK, and then it fills. That's pretty much it. And you copy and repeat the same method over and over again
Until your hand hurts.
and to create a low poly portrait. Yes. Original. 100% the original. If it's the posterized, you'll get more blocky, kind of like big shapes. We're trying to get something a little bit more complex.
It won't work with the posterized.
Yeah, it won't look as dynamic with it. That's pretty much it. That was a really slow demo. I could just go over and over and over again, but then all of y'all would kind of like fall asleep and be like, why are we doing this? That's okay. So let me stop the recording.